Hi, it's Ryan from Nights Around a Table, and friends, I thought that was it. I thought I was shot. I thought I wouldn't have another unboxing video for you for a very, very long time, and then I remembered, I have Rail Pass. So let me tell you a little bit about how Rail Pass came into my hands. By way of full disclosure, this game is by Mercury Games, and one of the co-owners of Mercury Games is a fellow named Richard Doc Diosi, and Doc is a friend of mine that I play games with all the time. He's got a board game collection to die for, or to kill for. And he, you know, this is one of the games in the Mercury Games collection. And it's really cool having Doc as a friend because he gives me a perspective or an insight into the publishing side of things that I wouldn't otherwise get, you know, being in the other seat. So one of the things that he has said to me that I found very interesting is that he says it's a little bit perturbing when they send out review copies to different folks who make content like I do, and then the person, you know, the person might like the game and do a video or written review about it, or the person might not like the game and then get to the very end of the review and say, oh, but I don't like dice worker placement games anyway. That's kind of like, well, why didn't you start with that? Like, doesn't that sort of taint or color everything that you just finished saying about the game? So I bring this up because this is a very unusual game that fits into an odd niche, and it's a niche of games that I myself don't really enjoy. You might though. This is a cooperative, real-time dexterity game. You can wrap your head around that. It's cooperative, you're all competing. Sorry, you're cooperating to get to the same goal across a certain time limit. I believe in this case it's 10 minutes, and you're doing it. Your physicality matters, and if you mess up your physicality, as I often do in these types of games, then you're shot. You're sunk. So, really strange. And if you watched my top 10 video with Shay and Rado, you learned in that one that I'm not a really big fan of real-time games, and I'm not a really big fan of dexterity games. So I mentioned in an earlier video that I got rid of Escape Curse of the Temple. I didn't mention, I thought that Space Alert was kind of interesting, but my wife Cheryl said, never again, we're not playing that game ever again. So she didn't like it, so I didn't really get to play it all that much. So that's a real-time cooperative game, Space Alert. But I have never before in my entire existence seen a real-time cooperative dexterity game. So this is it. You know what? I'm just going to crack right into it. Doc gave me the rundown of how it goes, but it's been a little while, to be honest. So I'm going to I'll discover what's in the box alongside you, and I'll try to remember what he told me about the way that the game plays. So here we go. Let's get that knife out of the jar. That's, oh my gosh. It's unfortunate because I haven't seen Doc. Oh, box fartometer 1. A rare 1 on the old box fartometer. I heard it. It was making itself known, but it wasn't, you know, kicking the door down or nothing. So I haven't seen Doc since the Calamity. And by Calamity, I mean whatever's going on with my hair. It's a real issue. WHO just put out a statement about it, I believe. I need a haircut really badly is all I'm saying. So here we go. Right inside we've got a little tiny rule book that is pretty text heavy actually, surprisingly, for what I remember this game being about. But they're describing, so I'm not sure, like maybe, I don't know what I expected, possibly more photographs because it's a game where you're actually picking things up and moving things around. But there's a nice layout of what you want your table to look like depending on your player count. And player count really matters, and there are a bunch of different things in here. You can kind of mix and modify the game. So what you're actually doing is you have these punchable things. You're building out, say like this one is a little rail bridge. Doink-a-doink. Hope I'm doing that the right way. So you got a little rail bridge, and there's going to be a capper that keeps that together. A little rail bridge, cool. And you have what else? You have little railway tunnels, little cardboard things to pop out. And these are actual. I don't want to mess it up, but here we go. So these are actual little physical tunnels that physical trains can pass through, right? So this isn't exactly, you know, your 18XX map where you're connecting things, or even the one with the crayons where you're drawing train lines. They're like actual like little models of train stuff going on. And these are the player boards. That's how they look. And they're different colors, so everybody gets a player board in a different color. And also you have, oh, quite a bit of stuff. So these are the cubes. They're plastic and they've got nice soft rounded edges instead of hard rounded edges. And I'm not too sure what this sticker sheet's all about because I haven't played the game. So, but again, I can tell you from memory what Doc told me about it. Here is the main event. So you're gonna find a whole pile of unique pieces in these bags. And this is one of the more interesting things about the game, and more interesting to talk to Doc about how stuff like this gets put together, because, you know, when you've got, yeah, there are a bunch of games I'm sure where they just kind of like call up the board game printer or the factory in China and they say, yeah, you got cubes? And I'm like, yeah, we got cubes. And you got meeples? Yeah, we do meeples. And it's like, okay, take all this stuff that you've seen in a million other games and throw it in the box. But I always find it interesting when I open my games and I find one or two pieces in there that are completely unique. I don't have them in any other game. And this is a game where a lot of the pieces are completely unique. So let's take a look. These are each individually bubble wrapped little trains, little gold trains, and they're little silver trains as well. Hold on, I'll open up a silver train. Little trains. So the idea is I don't know how, but you load up these trains with cubes, and you are the white player, and so you want all the white cubes to get to you on the white player card. And there's a black player, blue player, yellow player, whatever the other colors are. And these smokestacks, I know, go into trains and signify possibly what they can carry or where they want to deliver. I can't quite remember that bit of it, but I do know that these little smokestacks go in here to denote color in the trains. You load the trains up like little skids with their little cubes, and you have to get them to other people's boards where they have to unload the colors that go on their boards and then load them up and go. And there are rules for how you can unload and how you can pass. But the idea is you're physically, with these cubes loaded up on the plastic trains, you're physically passing these trains to each other and taking them, and you're making them go like through, you know, bridges and under tunnels and around these cardboard structures that you've placed on the table. And you only have a limited amount of time to get everything where it ought to be and to get all the cubes loaded and unloaded into their proper spots. So that's what you're collaborating to do. That's the cooperative bit of it. So the unique pieces, one more time, these trains, the silver trains and the gold trains and the little sort of golf tee looking smokestacks that go in there to denote colors of trains or what they're allowed to load or unload. I can't remember. I've never played the game. I'm sorry. But all individually bubble wrapped. And there it is. I think I should spend a little bit more time looking at what is in the actual punch board. So these are, I don't know. I don't know. They're broken trees that are obstacles for your trains. I believe these are probably going to be directional arrows. So if we look back to the instruction booklet, remember that map I showed you that shows how you want your table to be laid out, right? So here's a layout for 4 players with a little bridge in between and little tunnels between these two. And it looks like you're not actually allowed to pass the trains from here to here or here to here. Right? They've got another do not pass, so this guy can't pass to that person over here, but you can pass through the tunnel from 5 to 2, and 4 to 3 has to go across the bridge. That's the idea. That is the sum total of what you get in your little rail pass box. I want to find the lid or the roof to, ah, yeah, here we go. Here is the roof to the railway bridge. You know I'm concentrating fully when I got my tongue out. So that's actually like a pretty tight fit. Let's see what it takes to, actually, you know what? I'm gonna actually throw some cubes on there. Now I don't know if this is per the rules or not, but let's throw a mess of cubes on there and see how difficult it is. With I'm still getting the hang of my foot pedals to switch my camera. So like, ah! I'm sure it's nauseating watching it for multiple reasons. Here we go. I'm gonna see what it takes. So if this was on the table and I was like, whoa, already an issue. Okay. So, one of the dexterity games that I played with Doc was Tokyo Highway, and I made the horrible mistake of pounding a Dr. Pepper, as I usually do, just before I played it, which is fine for a slow Euro. It keeps me engaged at the table, but it's not a great plan for Tokyo Highway. Okay, here we go. So I'm gonna pretend that this is another person, as I sometimes do. Whew! No. That's harder than it looks. Hold on. Steely nerves. Okay, yeah. Okay, we got it. I don't know if we're allowed to go backwards, but here we go. Whoa. Okay, and I don't know if you're allowed to drag the railway bridge along with you, or if there's like a no touchy rule. I don't know, but there you go. There are the components that are in RealPass. A very unique, in my books, I haven't seen anything quite like it, a cooperative real-time dexterity game. Have you played this? Or I'd also like to know, can you name like 10 real-time cooperative dexterity games off the top of your head? You're like, he's crazy. It's a saturated genre. What is he talking about? I challenge you to do that because I don't think that you'll be able to. The only thing in my head is Meeple Circus, which I've never played, but I don't think that's cooperative. I think that's competitive. And Animal on Animal, that's competitive. All these are competitive. Tokyo Highway, very competitive. We played, what's Nine Tiles Panic with Doc? He introduced me to that, and that's definitely competitive. So if you can name a big pile of other games that fit in this genre, I challenge you to. I don't think that you'll be able to do it, but you have some time to think about it. Let me know in the comments, and thank you so much for watching this one. Also, we're celebrating a big, crazy, exciting milestone. If you check the subscriber count on the channel right now, it will be, hopefully, at least 9,000 people. And maybe if you're watching this in the future, it's like, wow, he was only at 9,000 then. Well, it's a big deal right now. We just crossed the 9,000 threshold. So if you're a subscriber, thank you very much for clicking that button. If you haven't clicked that button, think about clicking that button because that's a very important number to me to help the channel grow and to help me do bigger and cooler and better stuff. Tell your friends, and we'll see you next time. That was the wrong button. Did you just watch that whole thing? Oh, hey, to 100% this video, click the badge to subscribe and then click the bell to get notifications when I've got new stuff.